This is Trend Following Radio, where great thinking comes alive. Nobel Prize winners, legendary traders, best-selling authors, and the pros that know what drive us irrational human beings. I am your host, Michael Covel. Not filtered, raw, honest. That's my passion. One of the things that I've always loved about my career is it is really, truly a run through the jungle. A run through the jungle of absolutely conflicting voices, conflicting ideas, and massive confusion amongst investors and traders. So much confusion. I used to always think that maybe it would change. As a whole, people would get wiser about the markets. They would get wiser about investments and trading. It just hasn't happened. And today I have a great example to illustrate my point. I recently received a question. He says, I am 21 years of age. I've saved approximately $8,000, and I'm looking to develop a trading system that could work on Forex or the Indian stock market and make me 3 to 4% return every month with a drawdown of less than 15%. Is this possible? Question mark. Or is this just wishful thinking? Question mark. I responded very bluntly. I said wishful thinking. Anyone that says different is a liar. Now, just to go over his email again one more time, because I'm going to read an entire forum exchange that took place on my Facebook that I think is very instructive to see how people think. Some people think very wisely, very smart, and some people are absolutely Again, he's 21 years of age. He has $8,000. He wants to develop a trading system for Forex or the Indian stock market. Not very diverse, of course. Forex alone, Indian stock market alone. And he wants to make 3 to 4% every month. Not 3 to 4%, 11 months out of 12, 3 to 4% every month with a drawdown of 15%. Is this wishful thinking? Of course it's wishful thinking. It's a freaking lie. Anybody that says this is lying to you. Reach for your wallet. It's gone. You've been pilfered. It's been picked. Wham! Let's dig into this exchange with all these different voices. I think it will really be a great illustration. One guy comes in and says it might work with credit spreads on equities, not FX. My response? Exactly as he said, no way. Now, somebody else comes on and says, well, there are some carry-type trading systems that can produce nice results for a while, but they have negative skews, so when they blow up, watch out, i.e. selling puts. Short is a great business until it isn't. And he's right. Now, the first guy says, on equities? No. Who the hell's got a trading system that's going to make 3 to 4% every month on equities? Every month! People, every month! That was the question. Every month, 3 to 4% is a lie. I just had Jack Schwager on my podcast again. He brought up Ed Thorpe. Ed Thorpe, a great trader, the guy that also wrote the book, Beat the Dealer. And Jack pointed out that his results, 19 years, and I think he only had 4 negative percent months in 19 years. But Jack pointed out the statistical chance, the probability of Ed Thorpe existing was so damn small, nearly impossible. So again, we have a 21-year-old guy with $8,000 who wants to make 3 to 4% every month. Let me continue with the feedback. Another guy says, very smartly, you can't guarantee returns or drawdowns. Now, the same guy that brought up trading stocks or credit spreads, he says no guarantees in anything, but you can put the odds in your favor at least. How the hell do you put the odds in your favor of 3 to 4% every month? This guy has got a blind spot. He can't see it from across the room. Sometimes people read and they only see what they want to see. He wants to make 3 to 4% every month. Impossible. It's a lie. Now, of course, some of these people that are responding on my Facebook, I know they're probably fine people. They're not trying to be liars, but they just can't see. They can't see clearly. Continuing, another guy very smartly says wishful thinking. Of course, that's the right answer. And the young guy that asked the question, he was smart enough to phrase it that way. I give him credit. Hey, I'd like to do this, but is this wishful thinking? Damn, that's a good question for a 21-year-old guy. Now, here's where it gets a little more fun. Another guy with the name of Mike, he says calendar spreads will do 10% a month. That's 100% bullshit. 10% a month every month? Do you really believe this nonsense? I responded to the guy that said he could do 10% a month. Hell, he's going beyond the question. The question was 3 to 4% a month. And I said, 10% a month every month? The only guys with every month money are Madoff, LTCM, and high-frequency trading shops with access only a few firms have. So I like that he raised the bar from 3 to 4% to 10%. And if I need to say it very succinctly and clearly, that if anybody has promised you 10% a month, your money's not just missing, your brain is missing. Not only are you stupid, you're delusional. You've got something wrong with you. Go see a shrink. Go talk to a psychiatrist. See a psychologist. Do something. Take some proactive steps because you're no longer attached to reality. Now, in the middle of this conversation, I jumped in with some more points and I said, which is something I've always said over the years, where are the audited track records of note showing 4% every month and a 15% drawdown? And I made the comment, crickets. One of the traders that has been on my podcast came in and said, very accurately, maybe they exist in 3 to 4 month spurts every couple of years or so. Right, of course. But that's not 3 to 4% every month. The every part is a word. It means something. Every month means January through December, every freaking month. Of course, I'm being a little strident on this podcast episode, rightfully so. I can be a little harsh, rightfully so, maybe wrongfully so sometimes. Maybe sometimes people can't stand that I'm only arguing about issues that I might know something about, that I try to put the evidence on my side. And that was my next comment that I put in the thread. I said, I'm not trying to be an ass here, but there needs to be proof. Proof. Why don't people want to see proof? That's why I'm always fascinated to look at a track record like that of Bill Dunn. It's proof. I mean, I literally know, well, at least at that time when he was the audit accountant, now part of Dunn Capital, but I know that there's like an audit procedure for a company like Dunn Capital. I mean, it's all verified. It's proof. It's not just bobbleheads and lunatics online chatting away. And let's face it, a lot of people these days don't really know the difference between Facebook and real life, between some chat forum and real life, between Twitter and real life. People often think that the name they see, the screen name they see that they are debating with is possibly a real person. It's probably not. It's probably some fat dude in his mom's basement wearing his tighty whities, sucking down 2-liter bottles of Coke every day, who doesn't have a freaking clue how the world works. But amazingly, so many people don't care about proof. What they care about is some debate in text, in a chat, and that's their proof. Another trader on my Facebook makes the point very accurately. Sounds like a Bernie Madoff return risk strategy. 100% right. Another guy makes the point. Monthly compound the 4% for 20 years and your pot of 8,000 would be 98 million. Maybe not so likely. Damn good point. Damn good point. Another guy who's appeared on my podcast, Richard Weissman, he said very clearly, very accurately, Everyone interested in trading should read your response to the query. It's wishful thinking, and anyone who says such is a liar. I like to agree with myself. Thank you, Richard, for agreeing with me. I appreciate it. Another guy says you would need to trade futures to get the leverage, not even close enough to starting capital levels. Keep saving and keep studying. I'm not really so sure what leverage has to do with it. Michael Melisinos, who has appeared on my podcast, made the point. Leverage doesn't matter in this case. Such consistency with low drawdowns goes against nature and cannot exist if it trades long enough. Yes, Michael. Said nicely. I wish I would have said it that way. One of my favorite comments that came in, and this is an entirely different issue, but he said, careful, if Facebook doesn't like your comments, they will ban you. They have advertisers who offer such claims. Yes, Gerald, they sure do. All of the people that accept advertising are accepting bullshit claims around the clock, nonstop. That's how, if we go back to the genesis of accepting ads online, all based on the infomercial god, Don Lepre, rest in peace, the man who once had an infomercial that said, I will teach you how to place tiny little ads. And we all laughed about his infomercial in the 1990s. And those damn tiny little ads are the foundation of the biggest businesses in the world. And those tiny little ads that we see across today's biggest businesses generally all promote scams, bullshit, nonsense. Another reader makes the point. The market gives your system what it can, expect nothing more. Yes, great point. Another trader says, trading results are not linear as such. Trading is distributed quite randomly. Although if you take someone like blank, he names a person, with an audited track record of 40% plus average returns per year for over 25 years, then yes, it's possible. He's not the only one, I assure you. Possible, yes, but looks more like 200% one year and minus 20% for the next two. Yes, 100% true about that part. But Michael Melisinos also points out about this particular trader that's quoted about his track record. Melisinos says, I notice his track record includes large gaps of time where there are no performance results. Again, back to the original question from the young guy, the 21-year-old guy, 3 to 4% every month. It was just a simple little question, 3 to 4% every month. Isn't it interesting that on such a simple grouping of words, there can be so much interpretation, so many different ways people see it? But if we bring it down to base level, what do these few simple words mean? They only mean one thing, but that's not what people see. Another guy comes in and says, it is very attainable and possible to do 50 to 100% returns a year, but risk should be addressed accordingly to the expected drawdown and probabilities and should be relative to account size. I come back and say 100% a year, every year? That's bullshit. Now this guy comes back and says, I did 80% in 3 days. At that point in time, I take my glasses off, I throw them across the room, I stop paying attention. I did 80% in 3 days. What the fuck kind of response is that? That's just stupid. If you're out there right now and you think it's possible to make 80% in 3 days, except through pure luck, pure randomness, you can't be saved. Another guy comes into this same part of the thread and says, a trader can get hot for a while, and that is what the prop shops try to exploit. No one ever makes that kind of money in the long run. Now, the guy that said he made 80% in 3 days, he came back and said, I think it's very possible. I think it's very possible. I think it's very possible. Okay, I have to move on from him. He's lost. But he's not alone in being lost. Another guy from India comes in, and he says that is easily possible in the Indian market. I came back and said, no, that's a lie. He says we have proof, back office ledger. He says it's just possible with disciplined trading, have to follow the rules of the system. And so I said, so you have a multi-year track record of 4% a month, and you're not a high-frequency trading shop. Congrats. You will be richer than Buffett soon. And isn't that the big freaking pink elephant in the corner of the room? 4% a month, 5% a month, you're going to be richer than Buffett soon. What the hell are you doing arguing with me? I'd stop arguing with Covel and go make the 4% a month, and you'll be richer than Buffett. You'll be richer than everyone. Another trader, very wise, named John, comes in and says, if this were possible, guys like Renaissance and AHL would be doing it. If you're on this chain arguing it's possible, you need to ask yourself, what is the difference between you and those guys? What did you figure out that they're not smart enough to figure out? If your answer isn't backed by a model with predictable results, you probably need to take a hard look at what you're doing. If it is, and you have a track record, why wouldn't you publish it and start raising some serious capital? Michael Molesinos came back and said, the lottery is popular for a reason. The players want to believe. Yes, they do. Everybody wants to believe it's all possible. Someone else comes back into the thread and says, no one single system will generate such returns over the long run, but most successful money managers don't trade a single system. John comes back and says, sorry, that doesn't hold. If you have multiple systems with, say, annual returns of 20% and drawdown of 20%, then combining those systems won't yield greater than 20% unless you use leverage. Your leverage will be limited by the amount of correlation the systems have to each other. Even then, you have to be careful because correlations break down and you could have an event where you lose all the money at the same time. I came back and I just reminded everybody and of course, now that comment was true, but I came back and I reminded everybody 4% every month, 15% drawdown is a lie. Near the end of the thread, somebody jumped in and said, interesting, what's the contentious issue? Is it the 4% or a system that guarantees a monthly return, or is it the drawdown? What about 2% monthly return on average, for example? 2% a month, every month. If you're listening out there, send the audited track records to me. I want to see them. 2% every month for some extended time frame. Send them in. 2%, 3%, 4%. Hell, I'd like to see the 1% every month. The 1% every month that's not Goldman Sachs high frequency machines attached to the exchange ahead of your server. So yes, I don't care what it is, 1%, 2%, 3%, 4%, or the lunatic who said he thinks he can make 10% a month. Send in the audited track records. We all want to see, we all want to learn. And my favorite comment that I want to end with, my friend Steven, who appears after reading that entire thread, all he had was a little bit of troll. So what was the point of this thread? Covel desperate for attention again, I take it? I love it, Steven. I love it. I love the trolls. I love those trolls. Damn it, I love them. And go back to the original question. 3 to 4% a month, every month, and a 15% drawdown. All I said was, if you hear that, it's a lie. And even after this podcast episode, if you don't know it's a lie, don't trade. Don't give anyone your money to trade until you know in your heart of hearts it's a lie. Because if you don't know why I'm saying it, you're going to get burned. You will lose money one way or the other. That much is guaranteed. A final thought here, unrelated to what I just talked about. I really wanted to make this podcast episode about the American election coming up, which it sure appears to be Clinton and Trump. I don't know exactly what Trump's issues are. I'm not so sure I really care. I like that he's an outsider. I like that people are scared of him. And I like that a lot of Americans are excited about him. Maybe he will be terrible. Maybe he will be absolutely atrocious. But the American system always regenerates, always comes back. There's always a new election. If someone's terrible, they get kicked out. Look at Jimmy Carter. Americans saw him for 4 years and they said, get the hell out of here and go back to Georgia. And maybe they say the same damn thing about Trump. Who the hell knows? But I want to mention the alternative. Because the alternative to me, and not that I really think these elections mean a whole hell of a lot. I just had Mike Lofgren on my podcast talking about the deep state and how, frankly, most of the politicians out there are the same damn thing, Democrat or Republican. I mean, can you really tell me a huge difference between the white George Bush and the black Barack Obama? Operationally, as presidents, they pretty much acted the same. But I want to talk about the alternative to Trump. It really fascinates me. Who the hell are the people that stand behind Hillary Clinton and clap? It's like clapping seals. These aren't real people. I just watched this movie, The Truman Show, the other day. It's like watching The Truman Show. Everything is an act. Look, I'm not saying to go out and vote for Bernie Sanders, but when I watch Bernie Sanders talk, he seems like a real guy. The people that believe in him, they seem like real people. Maybe I don't share the exact same views, but it seems real. When I watch Clinton, I'm watching a mobster. I'm watching somebody who has been paid $153 million in the last 15 years. That's an astronomical sum. What the hell do you think she was paid all that money for? I mean, she's well on her way to becoming a billionaire. I mean, her and her husband were from freaking Arkansas. They were not wealthy at all. And now, hundreds of millions of dollars of net worth, and no one says a thing. No one says a word. And there's these orchestrated shows, and she appears to be well on her way to being the president of the United States. And there's this piece of music I love. There's this scene that I love from Goodfellas. I love that scene where Ray Liotta and his wife go downstairs and they snake through the kitchen. And everyone knows him. He's giving money to everyone. Everyone knows they're going to get a favor from Ray. I mean, that's not his name in the film, but everyone knows they're going to get a favor from him. And his girlfriend is just looking around going, what the hell is going on? Who is my boyfriend? Everyone knows. And they take him through the kitchen. They snake him through. They take him right to the front row. They put a table down. And everyone knows that this guy is a mobster. Everyone knows. And we all kind of like watching it, right? We kind of know there's the crook, there's the criminal. And every time I hear this piece of music, the dog brain in my head, the Pavlovian dog brain, hearing that can opener going, when I hear this piece of music, all I think of is Ray Liotta going down those stairs and Martin Scorsese's epic Goodfellas. And hopefully now I can convince you all that when you hear this bit of music, all you will think about is what a dirty, rotten mobster Hillary Clinton is. And I'm sorry that I'm not saying it strong enough. Can I say it any stronger? We're about to elect an absolute crook as president. Give me anybody. I don't care. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and tell you Barack Obama's a crook. I just think Barack Obama's a guy that I probably disagreed with on issues. Hillary Clinton and her husband, they are a special case. I hope now I've imprinted this music, and I want you to think Hillary every time. I see a time when those awake will understand how to make money in up, down, and surprise markets. Whether new trader or experienced, college student or financial advisor, protecting against a crash or just trying to make a lot of money, trend following offers everyone an answer in uncertain times. To get started immediately, send me an email, michael@covel.com. I will send you the right trend following steps to take along with my free video. But if you want to buy and hold, trust the government and trust Wall Street, this is absolutely not for you.